Hey, welcome to the Metal Bar, and very, very honoured to have with me the man right here, Corey Taylor. Obviously, Slipknot, Stone Sour as well. Stone Sour in town at the moment. Hey, welcome back to New Zealand.
Thank you for having me. It's about time we got down here.
Yeah, definitely. Last time I saw you down here was with your other band,
Slipknot.
Yeah.
That was 2009.
Yeah. And
yeah.
you were busted up pretty bad. You'd burst an eardrum, did skydiving, you'd done some of your hand, you're a bit beat up. Are you a bit better form this time?
I'm good now. I'm fine. I have not gone since, to be honest. It was, and the thing is that my wife went first.
Right.
She landed, no problems. You might as well just dropped her onto a pillow. I go out, on the other hand, rupture my eardrum, sprain my thumb, huge knot on the side of my head. I get up and there's straw sticking out of my face like this, and the guy's like, he's like, "You all right?" I just go, ha 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 ha. Unbelievable.
All right, man.
Yeah, man, I might as well just jumped. I might as well have just unhooked myself like that far from the ground. Just been like, screw it, I'm face planting.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Man, well, it's good to hear that you're back in form.
Yeah.
And you're fit and fighting, and you're
feel good.
You're a busy man.
I am.
How did you're doing the Sound City stuff with Dave Grohl as well? How did that come about?
That came about. Dave was starting to put the project together about a year or so ago, and asked me if I would do an interview with him because we did Iowa at Sound City, and I was like, of course, drop of a hat. And then about a month later, he was just like, oh yeah, by the way, you want to do a tune? And I just went,
Do I?
Duh. So he sent me the track. We kind of cut it up and arranged it, and I went in and I did the vocals the same day that I did the interview. So not only Grohl, but Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick, Scott Reeder from Caius.
It's a great lineup.
It's a great band, man. I was like, this is sick. I had a lot of fun, it's people are really digging it, so I guess we did something right.
Yeah, definitely did something right. And you're obviously, you've got the Knot, and you got Stone Sour, and you've done the Sound City stuff, you've done your own solo stuff. Can you tell us a bit more about Pugnacious P, and are they still going?
Audacious P.
Audacious
P. No, unfortunately, that is a dream that once was. That was something that a buddy of mine had done a handful of times, and we kind of put that on the back burner when he moved away. So it is what it is.
It is what it is, because the Deer are headed our way very shortly.
No, you lucky bastards. I tell you what, they're one of my favorites to watch live. And actually, the last time I got to saw them was last year at Download.
Yeah.
And it was me and Chris Jericho standing side of stage watching Tenacious D play.
Yeah.
And here comes KG and Jack walking off stage doing that very stoic thing that they do. And they walk out and they walk right by us and they're like, rip. And Jack goes, hey, what's up, man? And he goes right back on stage just doing the same thing. It was so cool to see that momentary lapse, and they ruled it. It was sick. They had the full band with them, and the audience knew every goddamn word. It was really, really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, I suppose as the record company people are outside, they'll be listening. We should really be talking about Stone Sour and the new records.
Yes.
House of Golden Bones.
Yes.
Part 1, Part 2.
Yes, 2 parts. That's two.
That's two parts.
Yes.
What's the deal? Obviously, it's a concept. It's the human. How autobiographical is what's going on in these 2 albums?
It's a little bit. Yeah, it's I created the characters out of people who I kind of knew and grew up with a little bit of myself in there. Yeah. Because I knew if I was going to go kind of off the rails with this kind of sci-fi fantasy place, that I needed to ground the characters in something that people could relate to. So to me, it was more about kind of, shooting it from the standpoint of, if this were a person that I knew, he would act like this. If this were a person that I knew, this is what he would do next, And it worked out, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun to kind of see it all come to fruition. And now with the comic books coming out, it's even more crazy,
That's Dark Horse, right?
I couldn't ask for a better company, man. They really kind of held my hand through the whole thing and helped me, learn, taught me how to write a script for, for a comic book. And I just saw issue 1 like all like done, you know. I mean, it was on a computer,
yeah,
but it was still pretty goddamn awesome, you know.
This is my
As a comic
novel.
book fan,
Yeah,
I'm kind of shitting right
Yeah.
now. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Anyway,
that's all right. You good?
Okay, so I was shitting my fucking pants, and like I'm really proud of it, man. You know, it was a lot of work, but it's really gonna take people to a whole new level with these albums.
And in terms of slightly off, well, on that topic, but away from the music, but towards the comic book side of stuff, and just literature in general, who's inspired you as writers? Who do you like reading?
My two favorite writers are Garth Ennis and Warren Ellis. I mean, those are my dudes forever, you know.
Right.
But I also get into Brian Michael Bendis, obviously. Brian Azzarello is really good. Grant Morrison is fantastic, you know. I love writers who have something a little more to say than, okay, he punched him in the face, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing that I've always loved about Garth Ennis in particular is the fact that he can create this great world and then throw so much chaos into it and so much like just gross, holy God, like dark humor, that you're not only reading it, but you're laughing out loud while you're reading it, you know. So I've been a huge fan of his forever, and I love the stuff that he's created for, honestly, for you know, both of the big two, and then the stuff that he's done for like the little companies.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. Awesome. And with the writing process, you know, I know you demoed a lot of this stuff yourself. I mean, Stone Sour, you know, the introduction for a lot of people was obviously Bother and then Through Glass, so there was a bit of a perception that Stone Sour was Corey doing his mellow stuff.
Yeah.
But then, you know, Absolute Zero, Gone Sovereign, these new songs, it's a lot heavier. When you're writing, how do you go, is this a Knot song or is this a Stone Sour song?
I always know. You know, I mean, there's always a distinction. When I hear something in my head, I'm like, okay, that's one or the other, you know. And for Stone Sour, this is kind of our coming out party because we've always been heavier than a lot of people realize. You know, I mean, you listen to everything from the first album to Come Whatever May to Audio Secrecy. There's always been heavy stuff on there, and I guess it wasn't until we kind of hit them with that 1-2 punch of Gone Sovereign and Absolute Zero that people were like, "Oh, this is heavy," and it's like, "Duh, we've been doing heavy stuff this whole damn time," you know. But you know, it felt good to be able to kind of come out and even the playing ground, you know, and show people that, you know, we can hold our own with anybody. You know, we're one of those bands that we can do it all, and we don't take any crap for it. You know, to me, a band is only as strong as how far they're willing to go. You know, and for us, I mean, there is no limits on what we're ready to do.
Sweet. Yeah, and how do you balance the workload, obviously, with all these things we've talked about going on? You know, I was talking to Josh before I didn't get a chance to ask him the question, but surely being in a band with a dude who's as busy as you can be sometimes maybe a little frustrating for the other dudes going, oh, fucking, when can we go on the road? When can we record?
Well, the cool thing is that, I mean, we're always writing. You know, I mean, Josh, he's constantly writing at his house. I'm always writing and whatnot. And we both got families, so when we're not on the road, you know, he's a dad, I'm a dad, you know, we just kind of do our own thing, and then we just kind of get together, you know, and we just kind of see where we're at musically, and we just kind of go from there. So it's not bad, you know. I mean, there's always been that unspoken truth of when one's on, the other's off, you know, and they just kind of hopscotch back and forth. So, and I knew that we weren't going to run right back in and make a new Slipknot album right away. You know, we were going to, you know, take our time and really kind of heal as a band before we even step into a studio. So it just made sense to kind of get this project, which I'd been thinking about for like the last 4 years, out of my head, so I can be able to focus on Slipknot.
Yeah. And on that, I'll get crucified if I don't ask you.
Yeah.
The next Knot record, what is the scenario now? You've got, once Houses comes out, Houses 2 comes out, you finish the tour, where are you at in your head? What do you think is going to be happening?
We're going to start throwing music at each other probably 2014, maybe start working on an album in 2015. So, you know, a lot of, like, everybody in the band's either got a project going on or they're just kind of getting their collective shit together, basically, which is good, you know. But I also know that I don't want to put out a Slipknot album that doesn't represent this band, because that's what kind of album this is now. You know, it's not just about Paul, it's about us and what we've done together, you know. So I want to get the whole band in the same room again like we did in the old days and just throw ideas at each other and just see what happens, you know. And, you know, oh, you've got a riff for this, I got a riff that'll mix with that, you know, and just kind of making that statement of this is a band album. It's not just 2 or 3 guys writing again. It's a band album because it's too important not to.
Awesome.
But that's going to take a little time.
Yeah, obviously.
But the thing about this band, though, is that we're so creative, it'll probably come together like that, hopefully.
And with all due respect, with Stone Sour, obviously your bass player lists officially, although Rachel Bolan is tour bass player.
No,
he's out
just
now.
the album.
Just the album.
He did the albums, yeah.
So
that was always kind of the plan, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we were trying to work it out so he could come out with us, but he had Skid Row as well. Right. But Johnny Chow's out with us playing bass. Yeah. We've done a lot of stuff, and we've known him for quite a few years. We toured with him in other bands and whatnot, and great dude, great bass player. He really nails it.
Cool. And is that something you think going through with Slipknot you'll do? You keep it with the 8 and just have a touring bass player?
Yeah, I mean, there's no replacing Paul Gray, I mean, and Donnie, who's been playing with us live, he'll probably record with us, but to me, it will always just be the 9, and even though there's 8 of us now, it'll always just be the 9.
Oh, good dude. Hey, listen, man, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you warm up and all that stuff. And thank you very much for talking to us about the night, for talking to us about Stone Sour. Thanks for coming and playing. Right. Hopefully next time you can come do your own show.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Man,
absolutely.
We'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Well, good dude. Cheers.
No worries.
Thanks, man.